Thank you for tuning in to the second season of the Fresh Air Talk Show 2016 and the first episode with the owner, the person who put it all together, Miss Honeydew Hilite, doing it for Honeydew Babies right here. Keep it locked. Tune in. We'll be back after these messages.
I want you. We woke up in the kitchen saying, how the hell did this shit happen? Oh, baby. Drunk in love, we be all night. Last thing I remember is our beautiful bodies riding off in that club. Drunk in love, we be all night. Love, we be all night.
I'm glad that you're on the show. It is a pleasure to have you here. And starting off my 2016 right with having you here is a pleasure. So I appreciate you taking the time.
Well, I appreciate you having me.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt. So tell me, I mean, what's new with Honeydew right now? What's going on?
Going on? Well, like I said before, I've been on the grid since 2006. So I'll actually be 10 years this year. So it's a lot of things that I've done over the years. So I'm always trying to come up with new ideas, new things to do, just fun things. Some of the things that I recently put out, I launched my bot baby, Honeydew Babies, my next evolution of babies on the grid, where you basically can log your babies in as bots and interact with them just like you would with any of the previous prim babies. I still have the prim babies, but I am giving parents an option. I thought of the idea a couple of years ago, but I think at the time when Mesh had just come out and, everybody was still learning about bots, I didn't think it was the best time to put it out. I figured, let them get used to Mesh, let them get used to bots and stuff like that before I really made that effort and push. But it's been going pretty great. I've been having a lot of fun with it. People are loving the idea that the babies are literally animated, literally just like them. I think sometimes when they ask questions, well, can I do this? Can I do that? I keep saying the babies are avatars just like you. You can go buy clothes and jewelry and hair and earrings and, right. And they get all excited like, what?
Right.
Like they have all these options to do with their children that, is sometimes a little bit limited with prim babies. Because you're dealing with prims that are scripted to do what you want, with a bot baby, there's no limits really. It's whatever you can do, they can do with a HUD controller and a bunch of simple commands, and you can interact with them just like you would another person on the grid. And it lends a lot to the realism.
Wow. So on that level, just real quickly, what made you say, okay, let's take it to the next level? Some people tend to just get stagnant. They make a great product and they try to ride that product and they don't really develop the next part. What made you say, okay, we're going to do it as a bot now?
Well, that's like asking, why am I the person I am? My brain does not allow me to stay stagnant. Every day I wake up, I want to learn something new. I want to try something different. I'm always thinking of innovative and creative ways to push forward. And that doesn't limit me in SL. I'm the same way in real life. Mm-hmm. I often say, well, I'm not who I am or the things I've accomplished in this game by accident. It's the same passion and drive that I have in my everyday life is what you see that I bring over to the game. And I think for me, sometimes that's even to my gain, and sometimes it's even to my detriment, because I have to recognize at times that this is a virtual world, and sometimes people might not have the same passion or intensity or feel the same way about something that I do. And sometimes I have to pull back because it's hard for me not to be who I am consistently, whether I'm logged into a virtual game or either living my life every day. I am who I am 24/7, but I had to learn to recognize that every individual in the game does not always see life the same way that I do. Mm-hmm. So I make little adjustments for different people, I guess.
All right. And I know that some of our viewers will want to know what prompted you to even begin with the project of, creating the first Honeydew Baby. What was it that made you say, look, I want to do this?
Well, at the time, back in 2007, my companion at the time wanted to have babies. And for about 6 months, I kept saying no, because I'm not going to lie to you. I literally have a phobia about being pregnant in real life.
Okay.
And it's so ironic. Like, look at the business I end up in.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And that phobia came, and I often tell people it came from, somebody showed us the birth video when we were in physical ed. I was done after that. I often tell people that was the best birth control ever. You never had to worry about me. But on the grid, sometimes you get to do things you don't do in real life, or you haven't experienced. So after about 6 months, I was like, okay, fine, we could try this. Mm-hmm. And as we started to move about the grid, to look at the babies and the clinics, and I'm like, whoa, I don't like how that baby looks. Something is wrong with it. Why is the nose made out of this? Why is, and I started to ask a lot of questions. And then the idea came to me, and I said, but wait a minute. If the same way that we have to buy skins to put on our shape, why can't we go into Photoshop, make a baby face, upload it, and put it on a print? And I remember I was at the clinic, and I said, well, ma'am, I'm not saying anything is wrong with the babies, but I have an idea of how we can make them look better. And I explained it to her. I said, so she kind of got a little testy with me. Well, actually downright rude and disrespectful, to tell you the honest truth. Whoa. And she basically told me off and said, look, we are franchised all over the grid. Everybody uses our babies. We have the best babies in SL. So, pardon me, but we really don't need your help. And that's how she came off to me. And if you really know my personality, that was the worst thing you could have ever said and done to me. So I went home on a mission to make my own child.
That's right.
I started to look at how print babies are put together. I built the body. I went in Photoshop. I made a little baby face. I uploaded it. I put it on a little prim head. I went ahead and I hit up actually one of the scripters group, and this one guy named Beatty at the time, he helped me build my first little Honeydew Baby script. And from there, I've been doing it on my own since, but he helped me, and I've always appreciated him for that. Well, I paid him, but he was there to help me when I needed help. And I remember when we showed up to have these babies, I was like, ma'am, thank you, but no thank you. I don't need those babies. I have my own. And as I was there in the clinic, and after we had the babies, we were leaving, every step I took, somebody was like, where'd you get that baby? It looks real. Like, it has a face, it has this. I said, well, I made it myself. And within that week, I had like 30 orders. And yes, it was 30 at least minimum. And they just kept, every time I made one and handed it out, somebody saw it, somebody told a friend, they just kept coming in droves. Wow. So at the time, my companion was like, you have to set up a clinic. And I kept fighting it. I'm like, no, I don't. No, I don't. Mm-hmm. But clearly within 2 weeks, it wasn't an option anymore, because they just kept coming and coming and coming. So that's basically how, Honeydew Babies was created. And, wow. Sometimes just a conversation from someone that might not realize how much they influenced you, but just the way that woman spoke to me and the way she behaved to me, she inspired me to just do I was so determined to show her what I was trying to just basically hand her in a platter. She didn't want to hear it. But in a month or so, her business was closed, and I ended up setting up an annex where her old clinic was. You know,
Right.
that's motivation for you. That's all I will say.
Yes. No, I mean, first of all, to the hard work, the determination that goes into it, right? And then to come full circle to where you were able to put a kind of stamp on it. And not in a mean way, not in a negative way, but like almost like an achievement. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's a beautiful thing. I think my personal opinion with SL2 is just sometimes we can get so caught up in all the other stuff. And there's so many things that you can do on this grid in this virtual world.
So many.
You know?
And, well, I will say this. I think one of the things that people don't recognize is that SL is different things for different people. Mm-hmm. I had a friend about a couple months ago, and one of the things that they were sharing with me, I was a little bit upset because at the time I was in a situation where people were, making statements that from my perspective wasn't true. And I didn't really like it. And my friend turned to me and they said to me, I will say this to you. And it was so simple. They said to me, this is your fault. And I was like taken back by, what do you mean it's my fault?
Right.
What do you mean that this is my fault? People are telling stories, they're lying, they're doing whatever, and there's no factual basis for it, but they're still doing it. Mm-hmm. And what he turned to me and he said, this is your fault because you have to recognize that when people choose to log in to this grid, it's by their choice and it is their fantasy. Mm-hmm. And if for some reason that they feel that something or any person or anyone or anything is going to interfere with their fantasy, they're going to defend that at all costs. Mm-hmm. And at times, even if they have to lie to do it, they will do it. Wow. And after he said that to me, it was like, like when you have a light bulb moment.
Exactly.
I said, you are totally correct. I cannot live my game based on the actions of others. Right. I can only play my game based on my own actions and my interactions because I can't control the actions of anybody else. And if I'm allowing my game to get affected by other people's actions, that's a reflection of what I choose to do because they're clearly doing what they want to do. Right. Exactly. And when I recognized that for the first time, my whole game was totally changed. So a lot of things I normally would have been upset about or take on or be a little bit anxious, I just let it go because I recognized that this is their fantasy and they have to preserve it at all costs. And even if it's at my own expense, I don't control them. I can't. So I can only control me and the things I choose to do on this grid.
All right.
Okay?
All right. That's some sound advice right there, which I can take, and I'm sure my viewers can take too. So I appreciate you dropping those jewels like that. I really do. I really do. So tell me this, Honeydew. Outside of the whole baby empire, what else you got going on? Is there other things, other ventures that you're working on to come to SL for 2016 or what?
Well, it's a lot of things I do. I am part of a motorcycle club called Royalty Riders.
All right.
Have several chapters within that organization. I am the president of First Ladies. Ladies first.
Okay. All right.
And I was actually exposed to the motorcycle life about probably a little bit over a year and a half ago with when I had met my companion and my ex-companion, and he was a part of a motorcycle club. and I was introduced to that world. And I think for me, it's more the idea of meeting so many different people and the camaraderie and the bonding and the building of friendships. And, I'm not going to say when you have sometimes a group of people together, there's never going to be any drama to interact and how to conflict resolution. And sometimes things get away, but ultimately the people that you do meet, there are some that you're going to bond with for a very long time. There's some people that are going to stay your friends for life. And I think from that aspect, I have enjoyed participating and being a part of a motorcycle club. Okay. Also, one of the things that we are doing is we're building out a urban role play sim. So coming to the grid 2016, a Royalty City is going to be on the grid. We hope to be launching at least in the next 2 weeks or so. We had custom HUDs made for the city so you could interact as much as you can. I think it's just going to be a lot of fun because, I think a lot of times people forget that when you log into these virtual worlds, sometimes you're trying to take a break from your real life and you want to do things and have fun. But sometimes people come with so much intense seriousness and too much of negativity. And if they would just learn to let a lot of that go and just remember it's for fun, you might have a much better time on the grid. And that's what I want to focus on in 2016. Yes, I do my business. I love it. But I still just want to enjoy myself and have a little bit of fun. And also, we're going to be launching Royalty Radio. I love doing radio. This is something I also do in real life. So things that I know how to do, I'm also bringing to the grid and just really enjoying myself as much as I possibly can. So look out for all things royalty.
That's right.
Come 2016.
All right. All things royalty. I look forward to definitely having you back on the show for that. What I'm going to do, too, can you let us know where's the Honeydew store? Is there a new Honeydew store as well?
Well, Honeydew Babies have been on the same sim from the first day that we opened 8 years ago.
Wow.
The name of the sim is FIOFUM, FIOFUM, and we have not moved. I have owned that sim from 2007, and I have no intentions of going anywhere. I have other sims, and I've been on other sims, but that sim is my home base. It's who I am. It's all about my business. It's about everything, so I'm not moving. I'm staying.
All right. That's right. Well,
something would have to happen so great that you see the Honeydew Babies moved off of that sim. So right now, we're still staying put.
All right. Well, I want to thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to just, spend some time with me and for my viewers to be able to be exposed to knowing that basically don't let something stop you. I mean, if it's something you really want to go after it, and at the end of the day, whatever the result is, you gave it your all and you've learned from that and you can take that lesson and apply it to something else.
Exactly.
So
and I think a lot of people don't recognize that message. They don't get it. And I think for me, not everything that we all attempt to embark on, we're going to be successful at. But I also recognize that failure is a catalyst to success, because if you don't fail, how would you understand or even know what success is? So what I often tell people is that you take that fear that you might have that's holding you back from even wanting to take that leap of faith, and you use that fear to be your catalyst to push forward, to do something positive, to try to do better. You don't allow people around you to allow you to sink. You do what you have to do, push towards your success, and something tells me if you try hard enough, you just might make it.
Awesome. Well, any shout outs you want to give out before we end the show for today?
Shout outs. Well, I want to say shout out to all of my customers that have supported me at Honeydew Babies for the past 8 years. I think that without them and They have been an inspiration. A lot of times they give me ideas. Honeydew, could we try this? Did you add this? And they pushed my creativity throughout the years. So I definitely have to say thank you to them. To all the people that have been there, one of my friends, Robin, I think she has literally the longest maternity clinic on the grid.
Wow. Okay.
I met her literally 8 years ago, and we have been friends since. I'm over at Rockabye Babies, and she has always been a great cheerleader and support, always in my back. Honeydew. Do this,
Right.
you're gonna do that. I want to say shout out to my Royalty Writers family. As we continue to push forward for 2016, I know we have great planned. I am definitely looking forward to that. And to my family, my immediate SL family, my sister, my brother, my children, who are always there, mom, do this, mom, do that. I mean, they keep me busy, they keep me grounded, and they always just remind me that I could do anything. And sometimes you have to just drown out the noise so you can listen to the sound of success.
Awesome. Well, again, I just look forward to the next time to talk with you. Seriously. It's good. It's really good. It's good to have good people on the show. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We'll invite you to the opening of the grid and everything.
Oh, for sure. Definitely. Well, it's Bryson Capellini. This is Fresh Air Talk Show on behalf of the staff at Ground Level Radio and the staff here at Fresh Air Talk Show. We thank you for tuning in. We'll catch you next time. It's Honeydew. We appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.